Good morning. This is Mona, and this is my morning view. Today, wonderful Wednesday, spring edition. Beautiful skies, beautiful skies. I always want to show you that. There we go. If I bow on down, I really didn't show you how blue it was. Okay, so anyways, I'm always wanting to tip that phone up and look at the sky when it's beautiful like this. And, well, there we go. That's more like it. Okay, so if I bend with the camera, I'm doing good. All right. Otherwise, it just makes you dizzy. You feel like you're going up in a roller coaster. All right. Spring edition 2026, beautiful skies, and it is wonderful Wednesday, the day that I give gratitude and thankfulness to the Lord for this space on social media, for a voice, for my life, for this week, this month, this year, this decade, this, all of it, all of it. So any of it that pops into my mind while I'm doing this, because the list can go on and on and on, right? And if you can't find anything to be thankful to the Lord for, you need to sit for a little bit. You need to sit with the Lord for a little bit and say, Lord, remind me of those things that I need to be thankful for you for. One, your very being, okay? Your very breath. If you got out of bed this morning, right? So there's multiple things you can start and just write them down. And if you have to say the same things every day for like a week, then so be it. I was there. I was there at one point where I just couldn't find anything to be thankful for because just my brain wasn't there, right? It's one of the reasons why I do this. That's why I thank God for this space, because without him, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. All right. So, wonderful Wednesday. An interesting thing. So we were, this morning is the days of Jen. I was watching a video about DNA, and I've always been curious about my father because I was always told that when he was young, he was told people don't tell people that you're Indian. In other words, Native American. But back then they didn't say that, right? Native American, because you won't get a job. Tell them you're French. Tell them you're French. To, cover that he was a little darker complected, right? All right. So now with that, I grew up thinking that I was part Cherokee, right? All sorts of stories around that. Don't know if it's true. What I do know is I sent him my spit test to Ancestry and didn't come up with any Native American at all. Zero. And my dad's genealogy is still a mystery. It's still a mystery. At one point when I first saw it, it had, some, looked like some Mediterranean space there, maybe some Middle Eastern, mostly like Germanic, not German, but that area. Little bit of like English, and I forgot to turn off the sound. I'm so sorry. That blows your ears out. Let's go here and here. Get rid of that because if it vibrates, that's loud noise on your end as well. Okay, so yeah, it's this mystery. But then I've gone back on there and seen this pie chart thing, and I guess they updated things, and now it looks like my my father and my mother are siblings, because it has them both from Scots, Irish, English, you know. My mom's Scots-Irish. That's pretty much it on her line, but, you know, threw a little bit of English in there for my dad, and I'm like, he does not look Scots-Irish or English in any sense of the word. Absolutely not. Now, could he have some in there? Sure. But his high cheekbones, pitch black hair, thick black hair, and darker complexion. Now, mind you, his skin that shows is darker than his skin when he takes his shirt off. But when he took his shirt off, he still was not like white-skinned. So my father's heritage in ethnicity is still a mystery to me. All right, so moving right along. I chose what I was going to wear this morning early. It was a new shirt that I had gotten that was given to me, and I did not know what it said. I saw the word live. But I didn't see the rest of the word. And so what it was is live generously. Live generously. And so I was looking at a YouTube video right before I came on here, because I was getting on. I was seeing how much energy I had left, seeing what time I had, because I have an appointment at 9:15, so I have to be off of this and into another phone call. And so therefore, I was like, oh, here's a YouTube notification thing. Let me just hit that thing and see what it is. It's, you know, one of those Christian ones that has the split screen, and the person is the moderator down below, and the top person is a video that they've seen and they just want to share it again, right? So that's the MO of a lot of these. And they're shorts. They're not long. And she gets on, and it shows a clip of Hell's Kitchen. And it shows this gentleman being kind and generous. And the one girl notices that she's out of garlic. She doesn't have any garlic. And if she doesn't have any garlic, well, then her recipe is just psst, because it's like, sometimes the garlic matters, I'm telling you. All right, so she looks back and she sees a guy. She's, man, I don't know if I, should ask this guy or not. He's my competition. The other girl I don't like at all. I'm not going to ask her. What do I do? She finally breaks down. She asks the gentleman behind her. He's like, sure. Breaks off some fresh garlic for her right out of the little thing, not the stuff that he had already measured to the side. He breaks it off for her. He gives it to her. And she says thank you, and she moves right along and starts doing her dish. Well, then another girl comes along and says, hey, do you have like a half a stick of butter that you could spare? She looks down. She sees that she has 3 sticks. Now, I don't know how much she needed for her recipe that she was doing, or how much she needed for whatever, but it was obviously in her thought, it wasn't about how much butter she had. She wasn't going to give the girl butter, because if she gave the girl butter, her dish might be better than hers. So she told her no. So the girl asked the guy that had given that girl garlic, asked him if he had some butter. Took a stick, tossed it over to her. She's good. Thank you. The guy that was willing to share won. And I wouldn't put it past the Hell's Kitchen guy to notice the attitudes and calculate that calculate that into the factor? Or did the Lord bless him with his winning? Or was he just that much better than they were? And they were just so into themselves that they weren't willing to share, because guess what? They obviously were not confident in their own cooking to think that their dish would be better than the other person's dish. I'm getting a weird thing for my umbrella. Don't know why that is. So they weren't even confident in themselves that their dish would be better, that it could be better if they were willing to share. Which brings us to that point of if you're not even confident in yourself, and you're not confident in God, what God can do, where does that leave you? Stingy? Always holding tightly? Kind of like that monkey that puts his hand into the gourd to get the food, and he grasps the food, and then he can't get his hand out of the gourd. It's that selfishness. I'd rather starve to death than let go. But when you live generously, God blesses you. I was told once when I was pretty good at giving, but I was not real good at receiving. Now, I wasn't great at giving because part of me was like, I don't want to give that away. That was given to me. Or I want to, I worked really hard to earn that. Or I've had a lot of things stolen from me. A lot of things stolen. And I have this one nice thing and you want it. If we're holding on to something that hard, is it an idol? It's like, oh no, I don't worship it. But if you get really upset if it got stolen, or if you get really upset that it got broken, or if you get really upset when you're tested to give it away, that's the real one. Because the other two, you're like, well, I worked hard for them. I worked hard for it, and now it's broken, or now it's stolen, and now I don't have it. And that hurts. But when you're tested to give it away, and you don't want to, that's a real test. That's a real test. Now, mind you, you don't have to give it away. It might be a family heirloom. However, it's a test of the heart. Why is it that you don't want to give it away? And are you holding it too tightly? Are you idolizing it? Are you thinking scarcity? Oh, if I give this, then I won't have enough. That may have been the butter situation. If I give it away, I might not have enough. Or did she have plenty and just didn't want to give it to her? All I know is what she said. She said, if I give her the butter, her dish may be better than mine. I can't chance that. So when you think about it, when you're generous, God blesses you. And I was told once when I was a bad receiver that if I deny somebody giving me something, doing something for me, blessing me in some way, that I am robbing them of the blessing. Because when they bless someone, God blesses them. When you bless someone, God blesses you. But when you are stingy, when you are holding back, when you're holding on so tightly because you don't trust God to give you something in its place, where does that leave you? All right, that's all I got for you today. Be generous, live generously, and be blessed. Go over to YouTube, Mona E. Harrison. Different than my Facebook profile, Mona E. Harrison. Like, comment, share, both here on Facebook and on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, get all the bells and whistles, and have a great and wonderful Wednesday. Blessings.